Hi, I'm Stevie Crevetto, Director of Public Information. Welcome to this edition of On Board with St. Charles Parish Public Schools. During these segments, we'll hear from school board and staff members on various topics and items of interest pertaining to the school system. Joining me for this edition of On Board will be Mr. Ronnie Seal, School Board Member Mr. Al Suffren, and Ms. Jenny Medina Hamilton. This edition will focus on the district's career and technical education initiatives and arts education, including an update on plans at the Dr. Rodney R. LaFawn Performing Arts Center. I'd first like to welcome Mr. Ronnie Seal, our School to Career Specialist. And Mr. Seal, before we get into the details of our career and technical education programming, can you tell us what your job entails and what your position is in our Curriculum and Instruction Department?
Sure. My position is within the Curriculum and Instruction Department. And my official title is Curriculum Specialist for School to Career. And the way that I see this role being defined is in two areas. First, of course, being a curriculum specialist for school to career, one of my primary jobs is to support our career and technical education teachers. The teachers who teach welding and carpentry, business computer applications, things like that. And then basically, in order to do that, what I try to do is make sure that our curriculum is relevant and current and up to date. So we try to have strong partnerships with business and industry to check to make sure that we're keeping things up to date. And then in addition to that, I also see one of my responsibilities in this position is to basically define and create school to career initiatives district-wide, just to make sure that students are having opportunities to identify their strengths, their interest, and pursue the training that they would need at this level to be able to be prepared for those when they finish school.
So definitely many hats you wear in the Curriculum and Instruction Department. And speaking of that school to career piece, what are some of the major initiatives that we're doing to help students link their education with their future careers after graduation?
Well, what we're trying to do is establish a strong pipeline, if you would, or pathway is the word that you would hear in this field quite often. And within that, I've identified 6 priorities. And one of those is career exploration and career guidance. We feel like it's very important for students to have opportunities to identify what their strengths are, what it is that they're good at, what they would excel at, what their interests are. And then be able to help them identify the coursework that can help them to pursue that. It's pathway development, making sure that we're offering the right courses and the right programs for the students to make sure that they will be prepared for whatever it is that they're good at when they finish school. It's also looking at increased opportunities for post-secondary opportunities. That's a big deal right now, especially with the rising cost of higher education, to see if we can give opportunities for students to be able to pick up some post-secondary credits before they finish high school. Career readiness and preparation is a big priority of the system right now, to be able to make sure that we're given the necessary training for students who may consider right after high school going into the workforce. And then of course from there they always have the options to go into a technical school or to a 4-year university, but it's making sure that they're ready for what they're going to do when they get out of school. Again, it's supporting the career and technical education teachers, making sure that we're keeping their curriculum up to date and providing the teachers opportunities to partner with business and industry so that the students have a realistic experience. And then one of the major things that I'm working on right now is changing the perception of career and technical education. Again, this idea that everybody is expected to go to a 4-year university right out of college may not be the right path based on a student's career interest and their strengths. And there's more than one way to an end, in essence. So those are the 6 priorities that have been defined for the School to Career initiatives, and that drive everything that we try to do.
And I know you mentioned in your response those relevant real-world experiences. So what are some specific examples of how those priorities are being implemented for our students in our schools right now?
Well, we're excited because within the last year or so, we've had the opportunity to see some of the programs that we've had for several years kind of continue to take on the next level. So for example, we have apprenticeship opportunities for students who finish the process technology program or the instrumentation program that we have. And those students are able to go through those classes and those courses at the Satellite Center in St. Charles Parish Schools, and then interview for a process to be hired on as an apprentice with Dow. So Dow is taking those students and helping them go through their technical school training in addition to working at the site to be able to get that real world experience. We've partnered with Apache Industries. As a matter of fact, one of their employees is teaching a course right now at Destrehan High School for students to let them see what it would take to be a part of the industrial scaffolding, insulation, and coating programs. And those students, when they're successful, are presented with opportunities to work with Apache right after graduation. In addition to that, we have Operation Spark, which is a partner that we have who offers programs after school and during the summer for students who are interested in computer coding and programming, and it kind of gives them that basic level of experience with that. And then we are also looking at offering an HVAC program, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning program, again after school, with a partnership through River Parish Community College. So those are just some of the examples of the things that are happening. Those are some of the more recent events, but we're continually looking for those types of opportunities to make real world connections for the students, because after all, that's the purpose of education, is to allow students to be prepared for what it is that they're good at and what they like to do.
Absolutely great opportunities for our students to take advantage of. And why are these programs specific to career and technical education and things that you have been working on so important for a school system to have at this day and age?
I think now so more than ever that the world changes so fast with the technology. It's exponential change, and for the schools to be able to keep up with that change is a challenge. But it's all about trying to help students make sure that we're doing everything we can to prepare them for the world that awaits them upon graduation.
And speaking of graduation, I like to think that I haven't been out of high school that long, but it has been quite a few years. And I understand now that there are two different high school diploma endorsements that students can earn. And this is something that has recently changed over the past few years through the State Department of Education. Can you just briefly tell us a little bit about those two endorsements?
Absolutely. In essence, students have two pathways for graduation, and it's the TOPS University pathway or the Jump Start pathway. And either way, the student ends up with a high school diploma. That's really what it comes down to. It's just that when a student chooses the TOPS University pathway, they're getting ready when they graduate high school to go to a four-year post-secondary college or university. With students who are going to the Jump Start pathways, they are preparing themselves to be able to go through a community college or technical college upon graduation, and then eventually they could transfer those credits and that experience to a four-year university. So either way, like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's just different ways to the same end. But ultimately, I'm very excited about the Jump Start initiative that the state has started several years ago, because it is really starting to make the school systems in Louisiana get very real about making sure that the students are having those real world experiences in preparation for the opportunities that they'll have when they graduate.
Well, great. I appreciate you joining us on this edition to share a little bit about our career and technical education programs. With the Jump Start diploma pathway, it is important for parents and students to be aware of our career and technical education opportunities. Thank you, Mr. CEO, for joining me and sharing this valuable information with our community. And stay tuned, because coming up next, you'll hear about one of the A's, arts, in our AAA school district, focused on academics, athletics, and the arts. School board member Mr. Al Sufferin and Ms. Jenny Medina Hamilton will join us to discuss arts education and share some information on our new state-of-the-art LaFawn Performing Arts Center.
Want to stay in the loop with your school system? Like and follow St. Charles Parish Public Schools on Facebook and keep up with academic achievement, sports and athletics, extracurricular activities, news and events. And in case of an emergency, we'll be here to make sure you're in the loop. You and I, we are St. Charles Parish Public Schools.
Thanks for joining me, Ms. Medina Hamilton and School Board Member Mr. Sufferin. And we know that arts are a priority in St. Charles Parish Public Schools, and it's truly unique that we have a position that is dedicated to the arts as well as gifted and talented. So Ms. Medina Hamilton, could you tell us a little bit about your position as Director of Gifted, Talented, and the Arts?
Sure. I was very excited when this position was advertised over a year ago. This is the second year that this position is in curriculum and instruction in the format in which it is, and it's my second year in the position. As I said, we're in the curriculum and instruction department, which means my main priority is to support our gifted, talented, and arts teachers with curriculum. And as we all know, in the arts, it's more than just what happens in the classroom. So it's also a big support for our programming and all of our events that all of our students in the arts and in gifted and talented have after school hours during co-curricular and extracurricular times.
So we all know that there is a belief in the school system that arts education is not only for a select amount of students, it's truly for all students. Can you describe some of the opportunities that are available for our students starting at elementary all the way through high school?
Absolutely. We are unique in the state, though doing the right thing. We're doing what we should be doing, which is offering arts education to all of our students K through 12. So we have visual art programs in all of our schools, music programs in all of our schools available to all grades, which is exciting. So in K through 8, all of our students can take visual art or general music, and in high school they have those elective choices as well. And then in 4th grade, students can start to choose if they want to be part of an ensemble. If they want just a little bit more than the general music class, they want to be part of a choir or a band. They can make those decisions starting in 4th grade and either keep with those decisions or change them up as they go through high school. As far as our theater programs, we do have a talented theater program, which is part of our Gifted and Talented umbrella. And so students audition and can be part of those programs, but more than half of our schools also include students that are not gifted and talented to participate in those theater programs after school hours. So it's very exciting that our programs are growing and they have those opportunities in all the performing arts as well as in visual arts.
And we cannot speak of our arts education programming without mentioning our new state-of-the-art Dr. Rodney R. LaFawn Performing Arts Center. So can you share some details about some programs and some things that are underway in this center?
Absolutely. So, as is the practice in our district, continuous improvement. And even though our arts programs are definitely on the right track because we're doing what is the right thing to do for our students, having the LaFawn Arts Center is another way that our district is showing more support for our students and our teachers with curriculum and with programming. So not only is the center available for all of our students and our programs to use for their own programming and their own events from their schools, but there's a whole nother component of education through the LaFawn Arts Center. For example, our Arts for All art experiences. So this is a program in which all K through 8th grade students will attend a professional performance at the center and have the opportunity to work with the professionals in the show, whether they're actors, technicians, directors, stage crew, artists, set designers, have that opportunity to work with them in an interactive workshop, giving them the opportunity to know more about what it is to work in the arts, not just as the performer, but in all aspects of theater. All of our students will get that opportunity in K through 8 starting in the 1920 school year, but we're very lucky to be able to have piloted some of those programs this year. Our 6th grade attended Not So Classical earlier this year, and even though the performance wasn't here at the center, it was at Hanville High School, the workshops were here at the center. So the students and the artists were able to work together here. It was very exciting. We will also have the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra and the Nutcracker will be 2 more of our art experiences that we will be hosting this year. And then next year we'll look forward to having all 9 art experiences for all of our students. In addition to that, our Arts Center also provides a home for our media arts programming that happens through the Satellite Center. So we'll see in the LaFawn Center daily the interactive media, digital media, as well as advanced TV and film production classes, which are part of our arts programming. In this day and age, with the rollout of the 2014 National Core Art Standards, the 5th art was added, and that 5th art is media arts. And we're glad to work together with the Satellite Center and those teachers to include that technology aspect of the arts into our full arts programming.
Lots of exciting things taking place in just a few short months that the center has been open. And speaking of the opening, we had a very special and spectacular ribbon cutting ceremony in August. And truly, this was made possible by the school board being able to seek a bond issue in 2015 that was approved by our voters. So, Mr. Suffren, in addition to the center being a facility that's dedicated to arts education and also a space to showcase our performances, how is this center truly a beacon of arts in our community?
Well, first of all, I've had many positive experiences as a school board member in my almost 12 years on the board. Our ribbon cutting event on August 25th was one of my proudest moments. The excitement of our students and our community members was just so gratifying and rewarding. The Dr. Rodney Oliphant Performing Arts Center is a premier world-class facility that magnifies arts education, and it elevates the social culture of our community through visual and performing arts experiences. The center is a venue for diverse performing arts programming, collaborating with artists, and engaging students and community members in the creation, appreciation, and understanding of the arts. You know, the center is a first-class performance space, but it's also much more. There's a two-story educational wing that provides space for the Satellite Center courses and opportunities for community education and visual art experiences. There will be performances for students and community members. There will be the season shows, but also local community performances such as the Nutcracker and the St. Charles Parish Community Choir. Our students deserve a professional space equipped with the latest technology for real-world performance experience. Community education courses will also be offered at the center. We'll also have workshops for students through the arts experiences, as well as after-school and summer workshops. So the LaFawn Performing Arts Center will be a beacon to our students, teachers, and the community as a place to learn, understand, and appreciate the importance of the arts.
Thank you for mentioning those things, and I think that was something that was apparent at the ribbon cutting ceremony. It truly is so much more than just a theater and a performance space. That two-story educational wing provides a number of opportunities not only for our students to learn and be exposed to the arts, but also for our community members. We're very excited for future plans that we have in the works at the center as well. And speaking of performances, there are a number of performance spaces inside the LaFawn Arts Center, including the Black Box Theater, the dance studio, as well as the Shell Theater. And we know we all experienced a slight delay with the installation of the seats in the Shell Theater, but I think it's important if we could share any update that we may have on the timelines of the seat installation in the Shell Theater space.
Sure. At this time, we expect the seats to be in after the first of the year, and we plan to have a dedication ceremony to take place in early spring. So we're looking forward to that. And the ribbon cutting event was certainly an exciting event. That dedication ceremony is something that we're looking forward to as well.
Yes, we are. And Ms. Medina Hamilton, I know there are some things still taking place at the center despite the delay in the Shell Theater seats.
Absolutely. We did have to do a little bit of rescheduling of a few of the bigger performances. However, the center is in full swing, being used constantly for performances. So not only are some of our schools using the Black Box Theater for their performances this fall and holiday season, but we have rehearsals here through LMEA District 7. We have our Parish Honor Choir rehearsals. We've had some of our art experience workshops taking place here. So not just the Black Box and the dance studio, but we have used the main stage theater, just not the audience portion, in order to hold workshops as well. So all areas of the building are definitely filled with kids and learning and working together with our artists. We hope that in the spring we'll be able to accommodate more performances in the main stage theater, the Shell Theater, as well as our school performances that were originally scheduled to take place there.
I know we have a lot to look forward to in the future with the LaFawn Arts Center, and I appreciate you both being here and joining us just to share a little bit about some things that are underway with our arts education programming as well as LaFawn Arts Center, and I know that there will be much more to come in future years. And for more information on our career and technical education or on our arts education programming, you can contact Mr. Seal or Ms. Medina Hamilton at the school board office. For more information on our new Dr. Rodney R. LaFawn Performing Arts Center, visit the website, lafawnartscenter.org. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time for another edition of On Board.